Hello, I'm Damien Rowe, and we're playing Gore Screaming Show. Oh goodness, I'm kind of surprised at this camera because this room is so dimly lit, and it is showing me white as a sheet for some reason. I don't get how. Yeah, I did a makeup, I don't know if the lighting can really even show it. I did it kind of bruise inspired, like there's a lot of purples, greens, browns, yellows. I don't know if the camera really shows it. I thought because of the dim lighting it would look better, but apparently it's still too light for this camera. Yeah, I want to talk a bit before we get into the game because I'm in that mood. 3 days ago, our managers are just somewhere, we don't know where they are, and we only have an assistant manager who I could not care less for, who is just a giant dumbass, and he announces that we're going to have to do extra work on a Saturday. And I immediately come up to him like, listen buddy, I am just not coming in on Saturday. Like, you could not beg me enough to come for the 6th day in a row. And I was like, oh, okay. Yesterday, he comes up to me and, like just a casual stroll up to my vehicle, like, hey, are you coming in tomorrow? And I was like, no, I'm not. Oh, but what if I asked you nicely if you're going to come in tomorrow? And I was like, no, I'm just not going to come. I'm sorry. Like, these 5 days have been very, draining, and I'm just too tired to come in for a 6th day in a row. Like, waking up at 4 a.m. and being at work, coming home and just passing out. Like, I'm just too tired for this. And he tried to rizz me up several times before, but this time he just looked over at me and was like, oh, but what if I played your favorite songs? What if I played some gothic metal for you? And I just turned to him like, what? And I was like, yeah, what if I played some songs like that all day for you? And I just felt awkward for him, like, what are you saying? And I just pretended I did not hear, turned around, got onto the vehicle and left. Because what the hell? There's been people who came up to my job, at my job, came up to me and were like, oh, you're an emo, right? I just looked at them like, no, I just have dark hair and I wear dark clothes, but I'm not an emo. I don't really listen to emo music. There's sometimes when emo songs will come up on the radio and yeah, that's nice, I appreciate the song, but I don't listen to it, in my free time. No, I am not an emo. I just wear dark clothes because it shows the sweat less and it looks more, it's easier to style. You just put on a black hoodie or a black shirt, bam, an outfit. Just easier to wear. And the dark hair is just because I like a certain few characters with dark hair bowl cuts, and I was like, I would like to try that out as well. I'm currently growing out my dark bowl cut, so yeah, that's not gonna last long anymore, which you can probably see. But yeah, most people just think I'm an emo, which is so funny because when I'm at home, I just listen to idol music and Dempa songs, the most high-pitched, energetic, squeaky music ever. That's all about yeah, I want to dance, I want to sing, I'm so happy, cute. So it's really funny. And this dude was just he just thought I'm a goth, which, I mean, I love goth culture, goth songs are really nice, but I also don't really listen to them like casually. It mostly just like has to be a specific just time and place for a goth song for me. I love the makeup and the style though, but I don't wear it daily either. And this dude just thought like, I'm a goth and I also listen to metal. It was just like trying to raise me up like, listen baby girl, like I will play you some gothic metal music. And I just turned to him like, what are you talking about? Like if he came up to me and was just like, listen, I will play you every song from like the Idolmaster series or like from Love Live, I would just be like, okay, you know what, you kind of got me there, like I might rethink going to work tomorrow just to be able to be at my job and just work while Suki Suki Pua Pua plays it on like stereo. Like I might rethink that. But like yeah, I woke up after a 12-hour power sleep, just like feeling like, wow, the skies have cleared up for me. I have finally slept good. Finally. And I actually feel like I have some energy inside of me. So I am healed. I am feeling good about not going to work today. Like I will spill some tea about that man because he is so special. But I don't want to take up too much time with Gore Screaming Show. So yeah, anyways, I will be moving up to the side and hopefully you can still see me, okay? Because the screen is right there. Good Yamiko-san, are you going out? Ooh, Yamiko in a suit. When Kyoji goes into the living room, he sees Yamiko dressed not in her signature casual wear, but instead in a stylish but practical outfit. She looks completely different when she's dressed up like this. As she puts on a wristwatch, she speaks to him with a slightly more brisk tone than he's used to from her. Is she going to his funeral or to like a case where they're like, okay, we need to interview you about what happened here. Kyo-chan, stay home and rest today. You're still tired, right? Kyoji frowns as he pours himself a cup of coffee from the machine. A child already drinking coffee? Goddamn. That's not real. No, pushing yourself. You went through something terrible. There's no way you're fully recovered. Well, like you, I'm still young. Motherfucker. You think you get to talk, you little brat? She pinches his cheek hard. Ow. Yamiko lets up on punishing him with surprising ease, instead pointing at the table. If you get hungry, get yourself something to eat. I left some money on the table. You're off to work? Something like that. I'll be out then. She waves and leaves the apartment in a hurry. That sounds suspicious. She went from a joking tone to a normal one so quickly that he gets the feeling she was playing along with his jokes. Upon hearing the front door close, realizes he didn't get up to see her off. He heaves a sigh, exhausted. He slides halfway down his chair, looking up at the ceiling. With Emiko gone, the silence starts to affect him. Turn on the TV. Some children pass by the front of the building. He can hear their chatter, then it fades. Somehow, this makes him feel very lonely. Come to think of it, weren't Yoshiki's, Yuka's, Momone's, and Golb's courses even discovered? Kyoji wavers between reaching for the newspaper on the table and switching the TV on. You could do both. Sam wanders between the remote and the newspaper, but eventually plops down between them, having taken neither. I wonder how Akane is doing. A whisper echo escapes his mouth. He blushes inadvertently. Once the desire to see her fills him, there's no stopping it. Oh no. He wants to see Akane. Akane is the only one who's truly able to empathize with what Kyoji went through. Yumiko can understand, yes, but understanding is no substitute for having shared experience. He wants to see her. Desperately. Kyoji instantly gets a promised chair. Rather than waste the day here, he's better off going to see her. Just as he heads to his room to get dressed, he hears the doorbell ring. Who is it now? Kyoji grimaces, feeling as though the ringing doorbell has taken the wind out of his sails. Yeah, who is it? He peers through the peephole, only for a smile to bloom across his face. He hurriedly unlocks the door and ushers the visitor in. Akane! Is it Yuka? Like, Akane would have done her hair, right? Is this to signify the change? Hello. Akane steps inside with a smile. How are you feeling? Are you still in pain anywhere? You're worried about me, Kyoji? She peers up at him from under her eyelashes and gives him a dazzling smile. With her hands folded behind her back, she leans forward slightly, gazing into his eyes. Bruh, okay, this is... Just this sentence is like... Yeah, it's Yuka. Like, come on, it's Yuka. Akane would not move like this. Well, yeah. Seeing Akane's face so close like this sends his heart aflutter. This is so gross hearing this from Akane's body. Wait, fuck. Accidentally clicked. Backlog. I'm so happy to hear that. You've been the only thing on my mind too, Kyoji. Akane? His face goes hot. This is the first time Akane has been so direct. Kyoji, get that brain cell rolling, come on. As the expression is somehow really different from before. It's not bashful in the slightest. Instead, it's fawning, even pleading. They spent an evening on the razor's edge between life and death. Did that change something in her? Yeah, her brain is just switched. Akane gently places her hands on Kyoji's chest. I've missed you so much. This does make me feel like Kyoji and Yuka have had like some history before, but like what kind of history could they have had together? Like, was it Kyoji's father who was with Yuka, or did like he, when he was like a small child, meet Yuka and she fell in love? She sweetly exhales those words. She stands up on tiptoe, bring her face close to his. A moment later, he can feel her lips touch his. Yuka, get a hold of yourself, girl. Hey! Kiss me back, Kyoji. His face feels like it's on fire. What's gotten into you? I mean, after what happened just the other day, why are you so... Let's not talk about that. Akane frowns in displeasure. This is moving uncomfortably quick. We're finally all by ourselves, you know? Some part of him wants to tell her this is inappropriate. The deaths of Yoshiki and Yuka are still burning into his memories. But Akane is right before him, her large eyes gleaming and her words alluringly seductive. I want to feel you, Kyoji. Akane wraps her hands around his back and presses her body tightly against his. Her soft breasts press against him. He can even feel her crotch through her skirt. Even through his slacks, he can feel the softness of her thighs as she hugs one of her legs around his. You can stop it! Not with Akane's body! Kyoji. Her voice is sweet and coaxing. Is it gonna happen? No! Her voice is sweet and coaxing. His reason flies out the window. Before he even knows it, he's hugging Akane's slender body tightly. Akane's face feels so very close to his in the dim room. Her lips somehow look redder than usual with a glossy sheen to them. Her faint, sweet breath tickles his nostril. Her wide-eyed gaze is locked on him. There is something alien in the depth of those eyes, something that is vaguely alarming on a subconscious level. What he sees there wasn't like the lively, upbeat girl he knows, a moist, obscene glint. I mean, it could be just described as like lust, like, you know, a lot of people when they feel lust, they just like, they aren't really lively and upbeat. So I guess the eyes change in a metaphorical sense. As if transfixed by that glint, Kyoji finds himself unable to move as Akane's hands roam across his body. The soft touch of her hand stroking his crotch, however, makes him pull back reflexively. The 2 weeks since he's moved back to his town reunited with Akane has been tumultuous? What the fuck? Translators, please! Stop. Definition. Making an uproar or loud, confusing noise. Excited, confused, or disorderly. I mean, yes. But like, they're little children. They're not supposed to be talking with such big words. Okay? He'd be lying if he said he's never thought that something like this might happen once they become a couple. Eventually. But this isn't anything like what he's imagined, however vaguely. Her fingers fumble for his fly. The sound of his zipper being pulled down is strangely loud in the slightly chilly room. Is Gore watching over them? Ew! Akane! Akane's eyes twinkle as she looks up at him teasingly and proceeds to unbutton his shirt. Halfway through, she grimaces. Kyoji follows her gaze, looking down at his chest, and sees what she's looking at is Yoshiki's memento, the pendant hanging from his neck. Akane's usually cheerful expression clouds over. Okay, the thing is, he has had it on his chest the whole time. Before, she couldn't even, like, get close to it or touch it. Why could she touch his chest where he had the pendant and it didn't do anything? But now that she's seen it, it's a problem. Makes no fucking sense. Writers, you did a shit job. That thing scares me. Can you put it somewhere where I can't see it? It scares you? Why? Kyoji. Think, boy. Think. I mean, I don't want to be reminded of that severe I mean, who would? Something about Akane's words feels off. Yeah, she even said it in a different tone. This is a keepsake from Yoshiki, yet the way she speaks of it is just horrible. But at the same time, he can't really argue with her reasoning either. She's also a girl. Such vivid and painful memories of that grotesque sight might be too much for her to bear. He has a feeling that old Akane would have never said this, but then she's been acting more feminine lately. The fuck? With that in mind, he nods and takes off the pendant, seeing as the mere sight of it makes her feel so awful, safely tucks it away in his desk drawer. As he returns to the bed, he sees that Akane looks relieved now. The moment he comes closer, she brings her lips to his member without hesitation. Oh my god. Oh my god. How do I even censor this? The whole screen is just going to have to be pixels. Jesus Christ. Hey, Akane. Defying his will, his memory becomes erect, revealing itself to Akane in all its glory. Such a disgusting way to say that. She gazes at it with entranced eyes. They even censored the word. Oh my... Oh my god, that makes it even more funny. That is so fucking funny. Oh, and Yoshiki's well, not Yoshiki's, but like, I have a feeling that it is Yoshiki's guitar in the back somehow. I wonder. But like, yeah, the guitar in the back, great. So that's your... Look at how big it is. I'm very lucky. Ugh. With the eyes still fixed on it, Akane kisses the tip of his cock. Ugh. It feels like electricity is racing through his spine. That sensation soon gives way to sweet tingling that envelops his lower body. Akane, what the hell's gotten into you? It's surreal. Akane isn't the kind of girl to do this sort of thing out of nowhere. I mean, she probably wouldn't, but like, that's kinda shaming. To be like, oh, she would just be like a pure maiden who would never suck my dick. He's confused. His mind feels muddled. Why is he burying his privates to her like this? You're asking me? She briefly breaks eye contact and says evasively, you just gave yourself away so badly that you can read his memory. Well, hear his thoughts. You just gave that away so badly. Nothing's gotten into me. I just love you so much more now. Her large eyes bore into Kyoji's, her cheeks slightly flushed. I want to do everything for you, to make you feel good. And I want you to do nice things to me too. I wonder how old Yuka is. You and me, we're grown-ups now. So I want us to have just like grown-ups do. She then whispers with a wavering voice. Don't you love me, Kyoji? Am I not a woman to you? Don't be silly, that's not it. Kyoji ardently denies her question. I mean, I love you too, Akane. It's not that I don't want to do this. I do, well, want to be with you. Embarrassment ends up making his words sound curt. Really? Oh, I'm so happy. Her forlorn expression from just a moment ago instantly transforms into a broad smile. She draws closer to him. Ah! Stop it! She giggles before, as if a switch were just flipped inside her. She brings her tongue to Kyoji's groin. Don't even giggle. A numbing, ticklish sort of stimulus causes him to tremble. You're so sensitive, Kyoji. Does it feel good, or does it hurt? As she asks him that, she pokes against his tip with her tongue. Hey, wait up, Akane. Ah, it's getting bigger. So you like that. Ugh, that sound was disgusting. Like, the thing is, with Yuka, if it was like Yuka, I probably wouldn't be so grossed out because, like, the character likes him and it would make sense. But, like, with Akane, who I have absolutely no liking to, absolutely don't want to see her like this, it is just like, ugh, disgusting. Soft, wet, smooth tongue ticklishly crawls over her tip. How about this? It's your first time, right, Kyoji? Can't utter a word. her tongue attacking the head of his erect member with complete unpredictable movements. I am not going to make the sounds for that, but like, I will just say the stuff she says. Tell me, does this feel good? She persistently traces his tip with her tongue while directing her upturned gaze towards his eyes, his face. As she does, she occasionally presses her soft lips against him as well, gently sucking on his member's head. You know, this is my first kiss. I had my first kiss with your... As she spills obscenities he's never imagined she could utter, she continues licking his genitals. Oh my god. You're shaking like you can't wait anymore. Tell me, do you want to go inside me? He simply can't believe the sultry voice he's hearing is Akane's. Akane, are you serious? That's... We can't... Oh. But I'll make you feel even better before we do that. God, she's guzzling that shit. She opens her mouth and slips the tip of Kyoji's member between her lips. Oh god, I'm gonna have to hear these sounds the whole time. Nah, man. He can't figure out if this unfamiliar sensation feels hot or cold. How would it feel cold? Is Akane, like, dead? Her moist mouth slowly engulfs Kyoji's penis as she starts bobbing her head up and down. Oh, those are some really well done eyes. Okay, her voice is starting to be more and more like Yuka's. Like, if you hear the sudden, like, turn, like, it's going higher and more like kimochi. It's like it's going in Yuka's direction. How's this? Does it feel good? Stop it! Akane, that's dirty. I mean, if you wash yourself, then it's not dirty. I hope you take showers, Kyoji. No, it's not. It's not dirty at all. This is you. The grip her lips have on his member gradually tightens. Before long, the entirety of his member is inside her mouth. What a throat go! Holy shit, girl! Could not be me. I would probably choke and die. Slurp. Okay, I'm just skipping that. I don't want to hear her slurping noises. I already hear them enough. She uses every inch of her oral cavity to squeeze down on him as she draws herself back up toward his tip. How does Yuka know how to do this? You make some pervy sounds for a boy, Kyoji. The fuck do you mean? She continues to suck on him so hard it feels like his whole body is being pulled inside her. Her narrowed lips trace the shape of his rod, once again holding his full girth inside her mouth. More. I'll do more. The bobbing of her head gradually quickens. Oh shit, she is feeling that music. And during the stimulation, she's focusing upon his privates. She watches his erection go in and out of her mouth. I don't know if I would like to watch that, I'm gonna be real with you. Slurp, slurp. The saliva that overflows from her mouth teases him with obscene noises. He moans as she sucks upon him harder and harder. Soon she's taking him so deep that her face is right up against his crotch, letting her breath slowly blow ticklishly across his groin. He's overwhelmed by the pleasure of the girl he loves going so far for his sake. Yeah, she's fucking choking out there for you, man. Her muffled, somewhat strained breaths only fan the flames of his libido. He builds up in his lower half. His body wobbles, as if weightless. Doesn't know what to do with his hands. Eventually, he seizes Akane's head, as if for support. Sorry, I didn't think... Trying to figure out how to read these lines. Because I'm not doing them sultry, because... No thank you. It's alright. Do what you want, Kyoji. It's fine. But even with her urging him to do whatever he pleases, using her head like a mere object makes him uncomfortable. Unable to think of anything else, he rests his hands on her head and only moves together with her movements. Akane, I can't, I'm gonna... The eyes in this CG look really good though. You're coming? I mean, let go of me or it'll be... No, keep going. You can come. It's fine. Hey. Ignoring his words, Akane vigorously sucked on his cock. That is just so desperate. I would feel uncomfortable. I would just be like, okay, shit, I guess I will. Stop. Goddamn. Hurry up. Let me drink your stuff. She sucks exceptionally hard on him, as if to push him over the edge. The moment he feels her lips grip the very root of his rod, something gushes out through his lower body. Good job, boy. Wait, never mind. You gotta keep on going, boy. Oh wait, you said the line? Okay. Hurry up, give it to me. Did she even say it? Wasn't she just moaning? Can't! Well, you did. He instinctively seizes Akane's head and pulls it to him while thrusting his hips forward, feeling his white cum gush violently from his tip. Muffled cries escape her mouth. He squeezes his eyes shut, gripped with tension. His member trembles within her mouth a few times, spurting thick with every throb. I'm wondering how many times he will have to use the B-blur. Even as he fills her mouth with thick, vicious fluid, her tongue continues moving, practically stirring the stuff around while stroking his member's head. Holy shit, girl, you are skilled. The caresses fill his member with a sensation that borders on pain through post-ejaculation sensitivity. But Kyoji steadfastly endures, basking in the afterglow of his pleasure. Her lips cling tightly to his crotch. As her warm breath blows against his skin, a pleasant feeling reminiscent of relief washes through him. Without being conscious of it, he cradles her head and lovingly combs through her hair, causing her to let out sweet moans. That's actually kind of cute. Okay. Gulp, gulp. Her throat bobs gently. She's drinking the fluid he ejaculated. That realization fills him with a belittled sense of guilt. It must smell bad. It probably tastes weird too. Yet despite that, she gulps it down without so much as a grimace. If it smells bad and tastes weird, bro, you need to like rethink your life choices. Like, you should be on a better diet, okay? Jesus Christ. You didn't do a good job of slurping that shit down. Like, that is everywhere. She takes her time, sucking on his tip like a straw before looking up with a victorious gleam in his eyes. You didn't do it. How did you even, like, smear it everywhere? Girl, what the fuck? As his rod leaves her lips, strands of sticky fluid stretch between him and her mouth. Between it and her mouth, dropping until they saw her slender jaw. She kind of looks scary. Like, this would... I was about to say, like, this would be a good CG for a horror game, but I think this is supposed to be a horror game. There's so much. I'm glad you came so hard in my mouth. A strand of a tousled walnut hair. Walnut hair? She's supposed to be brown-haired? I thought she was, like, red-haired. Walnut hair. So Akane has brown hair the whole time? Okay. Great to know, like, after we're banging. It's so erotic, it makes him shudder. Akane doesn't look like herself. She doesn't even look like she's the same age as him anymore. Instead, she looks like a much older, experienced, mature woman. She looks up at Kyoji with an incredible, obscene smile. His member stands larger than ever before her slit, glistening with saliva. Her slit? Is it already, like, down? Unable to look at her, he averts his gaze. He tries to casually pull his waist back, but before he can escape, her hands slip around his member and start stroking him up and down. You are not escaping, my guy. Hey! Ugh. The censorship, I love it. You want to do it, right? To put your inside me, to fuck my Hey, Akane, do you understand what you're... He's taken aback by the unabashed obscenity spewing from her mouth. Like, I mean, you theoretically didn't, like, properly, but, like... You have done stuff together. When it happened, when they made us do it, I'm also noticing, like, her shirt, like, liner collides with her boob liner, so you can see, like, little unclean strokes, and it's bothering me. Her tone is entirely casual, and as she continues caressing Kyoji's paws. Back then, you came right away, right? You spilled it all over my Izuka just, like, now fully immersed and thinking that she is Akane? Or was she... No, she wasn't. She wasn't in Akane's body before, right? Did she just take Akane's memories and now has them as her own? Really strange. Even though it didn't go inside me back then, I kept thinking, what if maybe we made a baby after all? This sentence also, like, tickles my theory of, like, what if they actually had a baby and it was Yuka, which would be so wild. Okay, never mind. But I never had to worry about that. When I later learned that's not how it works, I did feel a little disappointed. Can't believe Akane can talk about that incident from her past in such an indifferent, no, amused manner. Feels like she's intentionally picking the most obscene lewd words she can. Her blushing face is filled with a feverish expression. Seeing it feels terribly strange, but her groping becomes even more passionate, as if to wipe that thought from his mind. Each one of her fingers strokes in a different rhythm as she moves her hand up and down his rod, spreading their mixed fluids across his member. How would that even be possible? With the quickness of a cat, Akane thrust her face towards Kyoji's, sending the sweet scent of her body towards his nose. She's going to kiss him. You're still big. Do you want to fuck me senselessly with that thing? Akane. You want to do it? You do, right? Because I do. I really want to do it. I want you to fuck me senselessly, Kyoji. I really do. Her face moves even closer, letting her passionate panting wash across his skin. Her eyes, which retain their youthful light, stare directly into his. So let's do it. Let's do it lots of times. Akane smiles gently while taking off her blouse. But now the sun has finished setting, causing her pale skin to be painted in the mystifying shades of twilight. Wait, the sun has set? How long was she just rubbing his dick? Like, Kyoji woke up, let's say around midday. Like, let's say, 12 p.m. I mean, he probably woke up like at 10 a.m., but let's just, like, do the extreme. Like, he woke up at 12 p.m. He talks to, Yamiko for, like, a few minutes. She leaves, and he then sits down, thinks about, like, should he watch TV, should he read the newspaper, maybe, like, for 3 minutes, he was just sitting there, like, what's a hard choice, what do I do? Then, Akane comes, they talk, and start just doing it. And the sun is already, like, going down. And it is supposedly summer. So, like, the sun sets at, like, 7 p.m. Maybe even 8 p.m. How long are they doing this? What? Her mature, womanly breasts are soon revealed to him. They are faintly quivering. I am so... Ew. I don't like this. You can even see the blood. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Okay. Come on. Touch my boobs. This will also have to be extremely censored. He reaches out with both hands, gently grabbing her two mounds. Wow. All of that very detailed, very eloquent writing has been just thrown out the fucking window after they start banging. They're soft. Wow, Kyoji. Did you think they were like rocks? He tightens his grip on her breast, and they change shape pliantly under his grasp. Still unsure of exactly what he should be doing, he gropes her gently, but even that makes Akane stop moaning out loud. Her breasts are almost ephemerally soft, just the orange-pink tips are beginning to harden to the touch. Girl, you're just like nutting at the bare minimum this man is giving. He's just touching your tits, not even knowing how to touch them. I'm so happy. Touch me more. He experimentally pinches her puckering butt. Okay, you know what? A few seconds ago I was just like, where's your very like stylized writing? You know what? I take it back. Stop doing it. Don't do it. Go back to like 2 mounds, okay? Puckering buds, my fucking god. Between his index finger and thumb, sending a jolt through her body, he continues tweaking both her nipples while using his palm to knead her breast. Her even like twiddling her hair with like her finger is such a Yuka thing. I mean, Akane did like twiddle her hair with her thumb, but it was more like towards the bottom, not the top of her hair. It's like, yeah, that's just like, can they be even more like hammering it in your head to realize that this is Yuka? Like that. Keep going. Keep touching me just like that. With her hand still around Kyoji's cock, she brings her butt closer to it. She uses her free hand to reach for her crotch, spreading her lower lips. You did no prep, girl? You're just like ramming it straight in? No wonder you're bleeding everywhere. Jesus Christ. I'm putting it in. I'm giving you my first time. Fingers feel for her opening as she gradually lowers her hip. How would she even be able to open it, you know, wide enough for a dick if she didn't even do any prep? That must have been so painful. The moment his tip touches her genitals, the memory of what happened between them 3 years ago resurfaces in his thoughts. Yeah, not a great thing. This feels the same as back then. No, not quite. Back then, she was colder and more closed up. But this softness is just like before. Should you really go ahead and do this? Is this really the right thing to do? But even as those dubs fill his mind unbidden, Akane takes the lead and completes the act. Yeah, girl, no wonder you look like you're in pain. That must hurt like a bitch. His tip enters a For a second, it feels as though he's run into a dead end, but then Akane forcibly, pushes her body forward, further down. Ow, girl, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Ow. Just imagining, like, doing it, first off, raw, no lube, no stretching, a virgin, no experience before. Ooh, I'm sweating at this. Like, this seems like an actual, like, horror game. Their waists pressed against each other. She lets a throaty cry. She's just crying. Kyoji's like, yeah, I also moaned. No, she's fucking crying out there, bro. Must hurt so goddamn much. Stop turning off. Kyoji can't contain his moans either, overwhelmed by her tightness. So tight. It hurts. This doesn't feel good at all. Wow, it's almost as if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Akane's body swallows Kyoji, making her moist walls of flesh constrict painfully around his member. So tight that he worries he might go numb. If your dick fell off, I would be so happy. It hurts, yeah. She lets out a husky breath. Hey, Akane. My dick hurts as well. Don't move. Her body is trembling so violently that even breathing takes effort. The two of them remain still for a while, simply holding on to each other. As they grasp for air, the sensation of their entwined blossoms. This is such bad writing. Unable to withstand it any longer, Kyoji begins slowly moving his body. This feels weird. Does it hurt? Does it still hurt? Girl, it shouldn't be this painful. What is this? Is that like her foot? What the fuck is that? I'll be fine. I want to move too, Mo. Give me more. Akane begins to bounce her butt to working on that dick. The movement draws his gaze towards the joint. Even in the shadow of the darkened room, he can see how his erect pieces are slowly pumping it in and out of her. Ugh. I know I'm gay, but like... I just ain't really into pussies at all. Goddamn. Kyoji tightens his grip at her malleable breast, take on the form of his hands. Between his fingers, he can feel her nipples harden and swell further. They've been hardening and swelling for a while. Like, are they literal breaks in there? This feels kind of weird. Wow, what a wayward word. Her movements soon find a rhythm. Her folds, which before now felt as though they were strangling his shaft, now grow gradually slicker until he slides smoothly in and out of her. Each of her motions causes her nipples to stretch, straining against his fingers. The stimulation only makes Akane moan even more obscenely. Good, it's so good. My boobs too. They feel so good. I didn't know that would feel so good. That sound is quite something. She wildly bucks her hips as a strange howl escapes her mouth, sending intense stimulation shooting through Kyoji's sensitive shaft. Oh, wait. It happens without any warning. An electric sensation exploding through his lower body, and in the blink of an eye, he ejaculates. Oh right, they're not using a condom. Is she on birth control? The pleasure drowns out any possibility of conscious thought. He embraces Akane's body, greedily thrusting in his lust as he feasts upon the overflowing pleasure. The heat that overcomes him now is entirely different from anything he's ever felt before. Did they just like raw dog it? Is she going to actually get pregnant? If I was Yamiko and I found out they did this, I would actually like beat him. Well, actually I wouldn't, but like I would just be like, you know what, brother? If anything happens, you are actually on your own now. Like, I'm nothing to do with a kid. Hell no. Her body continues to dance atop Kyoji. The once painfully tight are now slick and soft. Each slow, rhythmic gyrating of her body releases wet sounds from where their bodies are joined. Fluids drip freely from their entwined genitals. Yeah, it is going inside you, which is not that great. Let's be real. My belly feels warm. It feels kinda weird. Sorry, I can help it. No, don't get me wrong. It feels really good, so it's fine. Did Yuka just want to, like, reproduce? Does she need, like... Okay. Another extremely wild theory right here, but Yuka has a very young body before. Does she just need to keep like regenerating or reincarnating as like a new person every time her body kind of like dies or is hurt? Could that be a thing? Like, with Yoshiki's situation, could she have taken the body of his wife? Could that have been it? Like, could the Yuka we have seen before been actually Yoshiki's, you know, partner? It could have been like their child or something. Like, does she need to like make a child? Or does she just need to inhabit a body of a person? Like, if she needed a child, that would make sense that she would inhabit the body of the child they have and kill off the mother. And that's why she keeps up her youthful appearance. Maybe. That would have been good if that was true, because Yoshiki, in that case, like, yeah, he was with his partner, they were banging, and like maybe she inhabited his body, her body, to make him want to bang and protect it. They had a child and she took on the form of his child. That's how he knew how she looks. And he was out there basically trying to like kill the body of the child he had with his wife that was killed. That would be nice and really fucked up. And in that case, it would also be like she's trying to make Akane's body have a child, and then she would kill Akane's body off and inhabit the body of the child. Is that too wild of a thing? I think that's a bit too wild. I think that's a bit too like forward for Gore Screaming Show, but would have been fun. As she speaks in a cute, slightly nasal voice, Akane brings her face close to Kyoji's. Doing so intensifies the sticky interactions of their bodies, causing her to let out an adorable moan. So did they only censor like dick or pussy? I like this too. It feels good. Let's do more. I want to have more Kyoji. Yeah, but this might be kind of risky. You're starting to think about that right now after you've busted a nut? Kyoji. Akane resumes moving her body, making it unclear if she's listening to him at all. She squeezes her eyes shut, furrowing her brows ever so slightly as she gyrates her hips, guiding his member even deeper inside her. I still haven't had enough. It still feels weird. Placing her hands on his chest, she grinds her slender, girlish hips against him. With each movement, the cocktail of his and her nectar leaks out from where their bodies are joined. Gotta make this stop. This fucking hurts to read. How is Kyoji still hard after like nutting twice? Like, doesn't he need some time to like regenerate? My boy, damn, you're a beast. And you're still hard, right? You can still keep going. It feels like I'm almost almost there. It feels like just a little more, and something will. She starts bouncing her body up and down, semen from his ejaculation mere minutes ago spilled from her vagina, producing even more louder, wetter sounds. I'm gonna... No more. This feels strange. His head digs deep inside her body. Whenever he pulls back towards the entrance, it dredges strands of sticky fluid out with it. I can't stop it. My body won't stop. Now even wetter and slicker than before, her embraces and strokes his member. Koji thrusts his hips with reckless abandon. This is going to be so hard to censor. Half of this video will just be bleeps and pixel screams, but like, even the shit she's talking, even like her moaning, it might be a bit too risky for YouTube, even if everything is censored. I don't know. Just a little more, just a little more. I'm gonna come! It's coming! Gotta come! Akane moans, her eyes moist. She arches her back to the point of pain, throwing her hips down as love juices gush from her body, straining the white sheets. No, I can't hold it anymore. I'm gonna come. Coming! Coming! Me too. I can't last any longer. Wait. What did they censor? Because there's a lot of cum here. Like, did she say like again? Or like, I wasn't paying attention. I just heard the bleep and I was like, wait a minute. What did they censor from this? I'm gonna come. Go ahead. Come. Come inside me. Come lots inside me. Like, what the fuck? Like, that must have been a very different translation. Her hands dig into Kyoji's shoulders as her walls clench around his member more tightly than ever. She's just like grabbing him like, come, come. The sharp burning sensation of his third ejaculation of the day explodes up from his loins, through his tip and into Akane. Man is a beast. Come. Come for me! Her body slowly collapses onto his. Now that his ejaculation has concluded, his organ turns flaccid at last. Yet his genitals, now soaked with their fluid, continue to caress each other. His limp member eventually... those noises. His limp member eventually emerges from her depth, allowing the second load of cum inside it to spill out over her thighs. So hot. You came so much. Yeah, I'm looking at the CG and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. You came the first time on his third round, girl. That's kind of pathetic. Of him, that is. You know, coming the same time as you felt really, really good. She slowly reaches between her legs and stuffs a finger into dripping. The sound of something being whipped into a foam soon fills the room. Is she just like spilling his seeds all over him? Like just like wiggling around like, see how much? Fucking look at that. Amazing. It just keeps coming out. See? She presents her fingers to him. They're covered in sticky fluids that almost remind Kyoji of steaming egg whites. She then pops her fingers into her mouth. I mean, of course it tastes different because your juices are also mixed, you know. You can probably taste your would probably taste a lot better than this fucking 20-year-old steamed in like nut that he'd never released. Well, probably just 3 years old nut, which is still quite a bit. Like that probably tastes rancid, girl. It tastes different from before. This doesn't feel real. He can't believe Akane would ever do something like this. As he stares at her, dumbfounded, he manages to respond to her. Well, I mean, it's got your stuff mixed into it too. Yeah, so it doesn't taste like absolute bog water. Oh, don't say that. Jeez. She pouts while giving him that bashful reply, but then she nuzzles her face against Kyoji's. With a languid smile, she gently presses her lips to his. We really messed up the sheets. Akane pouts as she whispers to him. It's because you come so much. As Akane rests her head on his chest, she gently strokes his hair. Soon enough, he has her sighing adorably in his embrace. Some part of his mind is numb. The whole room feels like a dark, hazy hideaway. Everything seems heavy. Maybe he's exhausted after the act, because his whole body feels languid. Merely thinking feels like a drag. Is God genuinely just like hovering in the room and just watching that shit? Alright, Yamiko-san might be back any minute now. Yeah. Should probably get up, but that seems like too much of a bother. Akane languidly sits up. Fluids spill out from between her legs and forming new stains on the sheets. Girl, instead of some tissues, go take a shower, okay? It's still leaking out. Could you give me some tissues? Yeah. Pulls a few from a nearby box and hands them to Akane. She accepts them with a quite quick thanks and starts wiping herself off. The sight of her doing so makes his pulse quicken again. Her eyes flicker towards Kyoji. She flashes him a suggestive smile as she continues cleaning herself. What? Are you in the mood for another round now? No, not particularly. Hey, what are you saying? You're funny. She beams as she brushes her hair, which is spilling over her chest. Now that the heat of death thrice is starting to die down, he realizes that the room feels even darker and colder than it was when Akane came. Yamiko walks through the train station, stopping in front of the storage lockers. 3650. This is it. She produces a manila envelope from her pocket. Inside the envelope is a key. After confirming the numbers on the key, she inserts it into the keyhole. But when she tries to turn the key, it won't budge. On closer inspection, the digital screen on the locker door displays a negative balance. You really made me a bit of the belt too? Stupid Yoshiki. She blurts that out despite herself, earning herself troubled glances from the passerbys. Still pouting, she removes her purse from her handbag. The sum on the screen is pocket change, but it still irks her off that he pulled one last trick on her right at the very end. Okay, so I did guess that it was like something from Yoshiki. Yoshiki always was that way, internally reckless and always screwing up at the last moment. Honestly, looking at Kyoji reminds her of how Yoshiki used to be. When the locker finally opens, there is another manila envelope inside, the kind that any stationery store keeps in stock. The envelope is bulky. When she takes it out of the locker, it feels heavy in her hands. With the envelope in hand, Yamiko goes into a coffee shop. She can't bear the thought of waiting until after returning home to read it. The envelope contains a thick black leather personal organizer some assorted documents, a few photos, a map, and a notebook. Apparently, the organizer doubled as a sort of diary. Would he mind her reading it? No, he must have assumed she'd read it from the start. Although writing in a diary format, the contents all focus on a single incident. On the beings Yuka and Gore Screaming Show. Nursing a cup of coffee, she reads on. She leans forward until she's at the end of her seat with her nose buried in the organizer at the table. Eventually, she realizes her head, supported by one hand, is hurting. She orders a few refills of coffee as time goes on, but probably they'd still rather she didn't hog the table. Thankfully, the coffee shop is relatively empty at this time of day. The owner and the waitress are chatting at the counter. The dissonance between their laughs and the gravity of what she's reading is almost hilarious. It can't be. She whispers to herself as she finishes reading the organizer. What's written there is impossible. It has that fishy quality of something published in an occult magazine. The contents are such that even Yamiko, of all people, thinks so. Ugh. Oy, ay, ay. Huh. And yet Yoshiki hates the cult stuff far more than she does. Strange. Whenever Yamiko and Sayumi told each other ghost stories, he'd look on coldly and wax sarcastic. What's more, this case seems to be related to the suspicious circumstances surrounding the deaths of Sayumi, Yoshiki's wife. At least as far as Yoshiki was concerned. What's written in here is the truth. But isn't it all over? The girl, the enemy he'd hunted for so long, had perished along with him. His vengeance was complete. Nope, it hasn't. He gulps down her now cold coffee, one of the several she has ordered by now. Emiko gathers up Yoshiki's things and wearily gets to her feet. On the way home, she stops by a convenience store to buy 2 bentos. Hopefully Kyoji has cheered up a little. After seeing so many impossible things in such a short period of time, it's taken more of a toll on him. He's still young, so he should recover quickly, but I guess I'm in no position to worry about other people. She can't help but laugh at herself. She might very well have a harder time getting over Yoshiki's death than Kyoji. Her childhood friend is dead. With that realization weighing heavily on her mind, Yamiko walks slowly through the night. I'm home! When she opens the door and calls out, there's no answer, even though Kyoji should be home by now. Silence hangs over the apartment, and the lights are off. Puzzled, Yamiko switches on the lights and has a look around. Kyo-chan? She peers into the living room, but everything looks exactly as it did when she left this morning, save for Kyoji's absence. Is Gore, like, doing an illusion on the room? Like, they are right there fucking, but Gore is doing the illusion that it's an empty room? Is he asleep in his room? With a bento box in hand, she heads towards Kyoji's room. So many bad things have happened recently. Maybe she should surprise him in his sleep, make him laugh a little. Honestly, it would make me really happy if it was just a scene of Kyoji dead. With that in mind, she opens his door. She throws his door open without any warning. Whoa! Aww. Yamiko's eyes widen in disbelief as Kyoji jumps up in his bed. What the hell? Don't just burst in without knocking. Kyoji quickly zips up his slacks. Hiding behind him is another figure. This is worse. The curtains are closed, making the room quite dark, yet even without being able to see it clearly, Yumiko can recognize the half-naked girl behind Kyoji, Akane. Oh my, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. She tries to play the situation off as a joke. She reflexively assumes that turning a blind eye with a smile would be the best course of action. But she's surprised that Akane doesn't look embarrassed. Instead, she stares fixedly right at Yamiko. Oh, that is creepy. Akane's sharp eyes seem to bore straight through her. Well, I suppose I'll make myself scarce and leave you two lovebirds to it. Bright as Yamiko spins around, Akane suddenly lets out a saturn moan. Eh. Oh gosh, there's still some coming out. You really do come so much, Kyoji. Her coquettish voice leaves Kyoji flustered. Akane, hey! Could you give me more tissues, Kyoji, please? Akane... Yamiko furrows her brows, then leaving the room without turning around. She throws the bento box into a fridge and slams the door shut. What's gotten into her? That wasn't pleasant. The Akane she knows is a cheerful, straightforward, and pleasant girl. At the very least, Akane was never the kind of girl who would say such obscenities. That clearly flirtatious attitude of hers, there's only one way of interpreting her actions. She was flaunting a relationship with Kyoji at the Yamiko. But why would she if it was Akane? It's as if she thinks Yamiko is somehow a rival for Kyoji's affection. Well, a girl her age might think that's that way when she's in love. But still, up until just recently, her relationship with Akane was the kind of sisterly love you'd expect from a student her age. Why did their relationship change so suddenly? Was it like the plot of a horror movie, where going through a terrifying experience will make two people succumb to the act of passion, changing the nature of their relationship? But so soon after Yoshiki died... Yamiko, Kyoji is clearly the stupidest motherfucker out there. Yamiko, please, be the brains in this situation. Please figure it out. She whispers it to herself before she realizes it, pulling her out of her thoughts. Something about Akane's behavior rubs her the wrong way, but at the same time, maybe she is being unreasonable. No, you aren't. Ishiki was a childhood friend she knew for years, but to those two, he was a man they only knew for a few days. She can't very well demand that they observe a period of mourning. Yamiko-san? She hears the door open quietly. Kyoji's tone is subdued, which prompts Yamiko to answer in a cheerful, teasing tone. Oh, where is Akane-chan? She went home. That quickly? Shouldn't you walk her home? She said she'd be fine. Yamiko-san, listen. Kyoji fidgets for a moment, unsure of what to say, but eventually he musters his courage and resolutely lifts his head. Listen, I'm sorry that you had to see that, but... Hold on, what are you apologizing to me for? I mean... Objectively, he might not have done anything wrong, but he probably still feels guilty and wants to confess to someone. But after what happened, Yamiko's in a bit of a teasing mood. And unreasonable as it might be for her to indulge herself, she's still shaken by Yoshiki's passing. She's such a good, parental figure. Holy shit. There's nothing wrong with what you did. You love your girlfriend, so that's why you did it, right? I'm not your mother. If you two decided to do that, I have no say in it. But if you're apologizing anyway, you must feel like you did something wrong, right? Miko has to admit that was mean even by her standards. Yamiko, they fucked raw. They should be on their knees begging. He awkwardly averts his gaze and hangs his head. I mean, not really. That's a bit too late, Yamiko. It's fine, anyway. Just remember you're still in school, so make sure to use a rubber. You can't take responsibility if you end up getting her pregnant, right? I know that. Do you? The person who didn't use a rubber, do you know that? With that mumbled answer, Kyoji leaves the room. Do you? Now all that's left is the bitter aftertaste of having bullied someone. Bullying, eh? She shrugs with a wry smile. She didn't bully him. Okay, so that shit still continues. Oh god. Okay, this is going to be enough editing as it is. So I will leave this episode and continue on a bit, but that's for a next episode. So bye bye.